Right, so hey everyone and welcome back to another budget photography video. Now in my last video I showed you guys how to get long exposures. Now in this video I want to go back to the time of before I knew what I was doing, and it was my first and second camera. And I thought I'd take you guys back and I'd try and edit some of them, not all of them because some of them are JPEGs, some of them are raw, but why don't we go into Lightroom and have a look. So these are the pictures in question, quite old pictures. Actually, if we go to this one here and go into info, oh no, that's when I actually, yeah, that's when I imported it. It doesn't know the camera or the lens, but I happen to know that this is from a Sony A20, A30, that was it, the Sony A30. One of my, it was my first ever DSLR, so to speak. And then stuff like this was the Canon 30D with a 35-70, and then these were the same. Now, I mean, these are raw images, which is really good, and you can actually see it's 2018 at 8:16 here. 30 seconds f10 ISO 100, which means that if I do want to edit this, then there is quite a bit of room to do that. So the 30D looks like this, which is kind of like what the 5D Mark II does actually look like. I think it's got like 8 megapixels and a metal body. It was the first DSLR that I had that I fell in love with photography, and yeah, I just absolutely loved it. It still had a flash on the top. It was a pro-ish but still very beginner-ish old camera. So anyway, let's go into these images. So let's have a look at this. So this has actually been edited before. Canon 30D, when was this taken? January, so it must have been really cold out. So now this is a JPEG. Oh no. But let's see if we can edit this. So it's already really quite sharp. So, and it's nicely exposed. It could do with some straightening. So we'll just straighten that up. Now the only unfortunate thing is that this building is basically cropped out. So I don't really know what we can do about that. We could crop it out and just have the other two, I suppose. But we'll keep it like that for now because we'll just do the lighting and stuff. We'll add in some contrast, bring some highlights down, bring up the shadows. Let's have a look at that colour. See if we can make it look a little bit more natural. Now we've got quite a bit of red, so let's dull that down. Dull that. Ooh, let's actually bring that up for a minute so we can now look at the exact colours, and there's quite a bit of green there. You know what I'm actually going to do? I'm going to bring these back and I'm going to go into selective. There we go. And I'm just going to select, oh no, don't do that for me. And I'm going to bring you down, but I'm going to make you smaller like that, just so we can just muck around with certain areas. So let's overexpose that just to help us see what we're doing, and then bring that down. So what we can probably do here is lift some shadows. Let's have a look at them whites. Lift the whites up a bit more, make it look a little bit nicer. Bring the blacks. We'll keep the blacks. I like the blacks where they are. Sort the blue out. Now we are going a little bit towards the purple at the top here. So we'll bring in some gentle green to the image. And then we can have a little muck around with this dial here. Oh, look at that purple sky. Now we don't want that, do we? So we can bring that back and we can dial back the green towards the purple a bit more. you know, I'm starting to think that this image in particular is just not salvageable. So we'll cancel that. We'll go back to normal. And I think what we'll do is we'll just brighten it up a little bit. But this is just a crap image. It's a long exposure, and I do like the water apart from all the noise, even though this had quite a low ISO of 100, I think it was. Yeah. So let's go on to another one and have a look. Oh, wow. Okay. Let's have a look at the information on this. So we've got another JPEG. Excuse me. Which is not a good thing. So we're going to need to, I think we might skip the JPEGs and we'll go straight to these RAWs here. Just because there's more playroom with them, really. So this is a RAW one. And then, well, all of these roundabout ones here are still RAW. So I haven't, from the looks of things, I didn't edit them when I first took them back in 2018. 29th of January, I didn't edit these ones. I quite like this one in particular. So I think we'll edit this one. So we'll go with auto, just see what auto does. So that, ooh, I don't like the colour of that. I really don't like that colour. And then we'll brighten that image up. We'll really bring that up. And we'll bring up some contrast. Sort them whites out. And then let's go a little bit more in depth with the colour. Bring in some blues. Oh, look at them greens. No, we don't want it like that. We want it there. Look at them purples. Sort out the clarity, dehazer. Well, that looks okay. It looks a bit too colourful, but it's okay. Let's bring in some sharpening, maybe some noise reduction, because even though it's a low ISO and a long exposure of 30 seconds, it is still very, very noisy. The 30D, as I recall, was never really good at noise reduction or at handling low light as it was. I mean, this one here actually is, please say this one is raw, because yes, it is. I remember taking this one in particular. So let's brighten that up for a minute and just see if I can. No, I can't see myself, but I am behind that red wall thingy, whatever you want to call it. So now, I mean, overexposed it all, but you can see just exactly how much, you know, noise is actually here. I mean, I'm not going to have it that bright. Maybe some there, add in some contrast. I'll lift the shadows, sort the whites out. Bring the highlights down, because that red line is actually very, very bright in comparison to the rest of it all. Sort the blacks out, and then we'll go to the color temperature. It's quite a cold night, so we'll bring the blues in. We'll sort the texture and the clarity out, and then we'll go to the details, and we'll bring in some heavy noise reduction and masking, just like that. So that's just a little bit of a play with that image. This one, oh my god, what was this taken on? Olympus ES10. So this was a micro four thirds DSLR, and I have no idea what these dots are. I don't even remember properly taking this image, but apparently I did. I remember the camera, but I don't remember taking this image, and I'll be fair, it is a horrible image. I mean, are these snow? Are these noise? Is this something that I put in camera? Because it sure as hell is not something I would put in on after, because I just no idea what that is. And I've just dropped my iPad. So I think we will ignore that one. This one, the same image. I think that was actually the same day, 26th of February. Yeah, same day, 3 minutes apart. So from the looks of things, apparently, I went from here, where I am here, to that one, which is roughly, if I go onto this image, roughly, I think it's about here maybe? Wait, I'm pointing to somewhere and you can't even see it, but I think it's about here. Let me have another look. Yeah, it's about at that roundabout just there. I think, yeah, because you've got that wooden background. Anyway, moving on. So this one is the same. This one is a little bit better. This is a minute exposure f22 ISO 100, but again, it is a JPEG. And what are these dots? I mean, are they stars? They surely can't be stars because this area is very, very light polluted. So, and also we don't have red stars. So if anyone knows, then feel free to put that down in the comments. Oh God, I remember this one as well. I've got to edit this one. Just add some blues. There we go. That looks a little bit better. Sort the exposure out and the highlights. And we'll leave the shadows. But that looks, to me, 10 times better. It's still a very, very crap image, as I have no idea what these are. It's some sort of noise, maybe. I have no idea. I never really liked the Olympus crop image EOS 10. That looked like this. This I'm surprised it was on the Olympus. I thought this was on one of my Sonys, but apparently not. And this is another JPEG that I think is absolutely horrible. And the same with this one, unknown camera. I think this was my 30D, but I'm really not sure. It looks very Canon, is what I'm thinking. It looks very, very Canon, but I really don't know. This one I absolutely hate. I absolutely hate it. I have no idea what I was thinking. This was definitely taken on my Sony camera, on my compact Sony camera that I had at the time, and I have no idea what I was thinking with this image. I thought it would be really, really cool to have this kind of thing, to have this little police car there that was all wet. It was a little toy, and I don't know why I thought it was a good idea. Although there is still quite a bit of room to play with here, it's still just a horrible image. And I have no idea what I was thinking with this. Contrast, let's get rid of some noise reduction. So that does look better, some smoothing, bringing some more noise reduction. So that does look better, but that's just horrible. And I really don't know what I was thinking with that. It's nice framing, but it's just bad, like really bad. Now this one was taken actually where I went the last time that we went out shooting, only this podium or island thing isn't actually there anymore. This was actually one of the first long exposures that I ever went for and got. And I remember feeling so proud of it. It was on my A230. So let's see what we can do with this. Now it wasn't, I don't remember much about this image. I just know that those were the conditions. And yeah, that's literally it. Let's see what we can do. Let's bring the blues. Nope, nothing with that one. What about this one? That's kind of cool. Let's have a look at them purples. Some yellows. So we haven't really got, as you know, it's a JPEG, so there is never really going to be that much room with it, but there is some that you can. I mean, that still doesn't look. Oh, I have no idea. I should have really kept all this stuff backed up, but I didn't. So I didn't keep it all stacked up in the RAW. This one here, I have no idea. This is just the lake on my, what was this? This is on the 30D at 35 millimeters. Wow, that is f3.5, 30 seconds, ISO 100. No wonder it's such a bright image. What can we do to this? Bring in some contrast, bring down the highlights, lift the shadows, and then bring in some blue. Now that now doesn't look too bad. I mean, it's a horrible image. You got quite a bit of chromatic aberration there, of whatever the hell that is. It's just not a very nice looking image. And the same with this. I remember being so proud of this one in particular when I first got it. I think this is on the this is on the 30D as well. But as I said, I just remember being so proud of this one. So let's straighten this one out a bit more. Can we do that? No, because I think it could do with being... Yeah. Now that does look a little bit better. Sort some of this lighting out, add in some contrast, sort them highlights, lift the shadows, sort the whites out, the blacks, and that can look okay. Again, I remember being so proud of this image, but I really don't know why, because it looks like nothing is in focus. I mean, it's not like I focused in on that, because that's all blurry, and none of these posts are in focus. None of this is, these flowers or trees and whatever might have been in focus, but they're definitely not, because they're all blurry because of how long the exposure was. I mean, this is kind of in focus. This other pier thing that was near me is kind of in focus, and then you've got the main road. Whoops! Then you've got the main road over here as well. That is literally, I mean, it's not a main road, but it can end up being a main road. But yeah, it's just these are all from my first like year or two of photography. So this one is surprisingly good in comparison. Done. Right. I mean, it could do with some color. I don't think I'm going to be able to add any of that back, because that has gone, because I think this is now a JPEG. So we're going to have to go with the whites, the black and white kind of. Yeah, and I think I've used the noise as grain, or I've added grain to the image, and in this image it doesn't look very good. So yeah. So anyway, guys, this was my first year or two of photography of long exposures. I hope you had a good laugh, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.